Well, this is going to be a different kind of week than last week, but there's also so much going on in the news heading into it, including new sort of trouble for the Trump family at a time that they are really showcasing the president's family at this event.
Yeah, look, the Washington Post broke the story with the tape of the president's sister basically describing her brother, Donald Trump, the president, as politically repugnant. And if the position is, well, that doesn't matter, this White House has decided it matters very much what the family thinks of Donald Trump because there are people with the last name Trump speaking every single day. So at a moment, the problem for Trump is what it often is, what he's trying to produce, and as you said, this is a production, is contradicted by things coming out in the news. And I think it was Bob Woodward that said the truth always emerges. The challenge for Trump this week is to keep the focus where he wants it. The other sort of backdrop against which this plays out is the political reality. His own advisors, and I think I mentioned this last week, have said that the structure of the race right now as a referendum on Trump is a sure loser. Trump plans to talk every day this week, guaranteeing that the week will be about Trump. That is not a pathway to political rebound in terms of the eyes of his political advisors.
We have been hearing for a while now that Trump is going to speak every week. It doesn't seem like he's going to give like an acceptance speech every night. He's just going to appear in some form, but we don't know what that is. It is unusual to plan to hear from the president every day of the convention.
We've already heard from him. I mean, he spent almost an hour ranting today. I mean, he's not going to let himself be forgotten, right, in this, whatever this is. And thank you for explaining that. I think for a lot of people, the opening with the nomination, even for me, it was weird, right? Mm-hmm. It was out of order. But, as you said, that's over.
Convention technically is over. This is another thing.
It's another thing. And, what I've been thinking about today is the difference between a democracy and a constitutional monarchy. In a constitutional monarchy, there are perfunctory votes, but the monarch is still the monarch. The king is still the king. The royal family is the royal family. There's nothing you can do about that. And if the royal family has done misdeeds, and if courts want to dig into potential illegality, well, that doesn't matter. They are the royal family. And the Trumps come across as if they do believe that America has a royal family, and it is them. And so it's interesting to watch them create a pageantry about the Trumps, but not about the Trumps the way that last week was about the Bidens. Last week was about the family, the cohesion, the loss, the things they've suffered, the way they've come together, the way they were brought together. The same thing with Kamala Harris, her family, the blended family. It was about them as human beings. This isn't about the Trumps as like people with friends and family and loved ones. It's about them as our American monarchical entity that you cannot eliminate. That, Donald Trump came out and said, say 12 more years. That's exactly what Putin's given himself, 12 more years. It's almost as if the election doesn't matter anymore. Because as far as Donald Trump and his family are concerned, they've established themselves as monarchs. And if they have to keep power the way monarchs do, they'll do it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.